Okay, it is Sunday night, and I want you to know, I think I'm being a huge trooper. I think Kendall's being a huge trooper too. We have some mystery person on we don't know who that is, but it's an iPad mystery person who's being a real trooper. But I always say, and this is one of the things I love the most about our business is you do it when it works for you. You fit it in when it works for you, and at the same time, though, the other thing I love about it is it's all in your hands. Like, and I remember talking to Kendall last week, and she's like, this is actually a very simple business. It really is. There's no rocket science to it. It's a fairly simple business. But that being said, there's always ways to improve and always ways to get better and make your job easier or more efficient or make you better for your customers and hostesses and things like that. So that's what we're here to do tonight. It is May 15th, and we're going to talk about getting ready for your first trunk show. And I like to think about this as two separate things. So part one is what do you have to have ready before you leave the house? And then part two is what are you going to do while you're setting up and then doing the trunk show? So we're going to do both tonight because part one is actually fairly easy. And this is kind of like the stuff that you may not think about all the time. But one, I always like to bring some kind of a runner or a tablecloth or something just in case my hostess doesn't have it. And it just helps to make things look better. Even if I don't have trays, that helps me lay the jewelry down and make it look nicer. The other thing it is I do have the Stella & Dot standard jewelry trays, and those little feet sometimes come off. And when they come off, they expose nails, and I don't always have time to super glue things back on. My husband's the king of super gluing. So when that happens, I'm really nervous about scratching up my hostess's table, whatever it is. So I like just to have a cloth there. So have that. Have a couple of mirrors. It's important. You never know if your hostess has no mirrors lying around. So you want to always have, two, maybe three hand mirrors. I think two's enough. If you don't have Dottie and you are taking orders on paper, you need to make sure you have a calculator or use a calculator on your phone if you have that. Make sure you have a calculator. I always like to have two with me. Regardless of whether you have Dottie or not, you want to have paper order forms with you. There are multiple reasons. One, Dottie could be on the rag. And there's just no winning if she's not feeling up to it. So you need to make sure you have paper order forms because technology is fantastic, but sometimes it fails. Second thing is I like to leave my hostess at the end of the trunk show always with 3 or 4 sets of lookbooks with the paper order form stuck in it to empower her to get more orders. And I tell her what to say, who to reach out to, how to get those orders. So you want to have paper order forms for that reason as well. And third reason you want to have paper order forms is let's say you are doing everything right. You got your hostess to invite a ton of people, therefore a ton of people are coming and you have at least 15 people coming. It's going to be phenomenal. You're going to be on a huge high and you're also going to feel a little bit overwhelmed, especially if it's your first trunk shows. It's a little mind-boggling when you're standing there and realizing, oh crap, basically everyone's going to play with jewelry for about an hour and a half, and then the last half hour, everyone's going to want to place an order all at the same time, and you're going to feel like you're on a football field being charged. So having paper order forms really helps me to calm down about that and take control of the situation, which is like if somebody, let's say I'm at checkout and I'm helping somebody and somebody else is coming on board, I just tell them, you know what, no problem. If you are in a hurry, I know I'm all about personalized service, but why don't I go ahead and give you a paper order form, fill out the top part, please. I do need to have your email address. I do need to have your phone number, and I do need to have, where you're being shipped, and then fill out the bottom with your credit card information. I'll do the middle with you. So that just helps alleviate any stress. And, sometimes people just are in a hurry and they get frustrated. So that at least puts some control into them. If you're the only person taking orders, sometimes they feel like, crap, I just want to place an order and get out of here already. And then they say something like, you know what, I'll just order from the computer. I'll just order online. And they leave and they don't. So this, I just don't want to leave anything to chance. So that's why you always want to have paper order forms with you. Dottie, as I said, I love Dottie. Dottie and I have a fantastic relationship. Dottie is my assistant extraordinaire, but sometimes Dottie goes on the rag. And when she does, it's very frustrating. So these are the things that I try to make sure I take care of Dottie, give her extra Advil beforehand, things like that. So how do I do it? These are my tricks of the trade with Dottie. At the beginning of every month, before my first trunk show, I actually, this may sound a little strange, but I actually delete the entire iPad app. I take Dottie out, I go back into Stella and Dot, I reload Dottie all over again. I know it seems silly, but you're sitting around anyway, you may as well do it. That seems to help a lot in terms of updating everything. Throughout the month, as I'm doing trunk shows, when I am charging my iPad at home where I have Wi-Fi, I go in, I sign out of Dottie, and I sign back into Dottie. It's just my fail-safe to make sure that I am updating everything that Dottie has to tell me, including the product alert list and all that, and including, you know, what if something on the trunk show exclusives has sold out. That'll show up that way. So that's how I prepared Dottie before the trunk show. I also, even though Dottie, if you're using Dottie, real time will tell you if something's out of stock. I like to know that kind of stuff, so I still print out the product alert list, which you can get in the Stylist Lounge. Right in the front page of your Stylist Lounge, in that easy to access information under the video, there's a product alert list. I like to know what's going on. I print it out. It's easy reference. And at the same time, I always like to have trunk show exclusives with me. Now, girls, there's no perfect way to do this. You can have several sheets of trunk show exclusive PDFs lying around so people know what's half off when they spend $50 or more. I personally like to cut one up into a frame because I have it framed for an 8x10 photograph, and these are 8.5 by 11, so I just snip the sides and whatnot. I stick it into a frame, put the frame up. If I have the samples, I sort of lay them around there, but this way people will see what's half off when they spend 50 or more. And then I don't have to, like, you know, constantly remember and go find that piece of paper. It's like, oh, look at that frame thing, there it is. And you know what's nice is if something sells out, I'm not like tracking 55 sheets of paper. I just go back to the frame, I open something, I cross it off with a big marker, I wrote sold out. That's it. Like, you know, nobody said you had to be all corporate and have everything typed out and pretty and everything. I love handwriting things. So this is before you leave. You want to have all this stuff from home. Have your paper open date calendars with you already marked up so that you know the rest of May that you want to book and the rest of June. And I would just have May and June right now.
Where did you get that? I saw yours. You actually have a Stella and Dot one?
Yeah,
Or you just made it. Did you make it?
I did not make it. It was in, we have them in Stellaverse. They hadn't updated more, so I don't have a new one for, like, I've been looking to get one for July and August. I don't know if they updated it.
Okay.
And to be fair, I know this sounds awful. I don't have her anymore because we just sort of parted ways, but I mean, kind of parted ways. Not really. We're not sure yet what's going on, but I had an assistant and she was doing a lot of, like, pulling the stuff for me. But we do have it in Stellaverse.
Okay.
I love Stellaverse. Stellaverse is fantastic. When I don't know what to do, I just go into the search function and just type in what I'm looking for. But sometimes what's tricky about that is you have to write what's the word I'm looking for? You have to write the keyword, right? Like you have to have the right word that will get that search going. So, mystery iPad person, who are you? I can't see your face very well.
Oh, I'm not very tech savvy, so I don't know how this works.
Who is this?
This is Desiree.
Oh, well, hello there.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Hi, Desiree. Nice to meet you.
I'm sorry, it took me a while to figure this out.
That's okay. We couldn't figure out what it was. I thought you just didn't want us to know that you were on with us. So I thought
I don't know how to get it working. Sorry.
Okay. So nice. You know, if we have some time at the end, I'd like to talk to you more. But right now, let's go ahead and get this part done. So all the people who are watching this later don't go, wait, we didn't sign on to this to hear Sandy's conversation with Desiree.
Okay.
Okay, so before you leave the house, have your open date calendar with you. Also make sure you're bringing a few trunk show planners. You know, the thing that came in your box, it was just a little yellow leaflet that tells the hostess what she gets when she hosts a trunk show and helps her brainstorm her contact list, her invitee list. You want to bring some mini lookbooks and opportunity brochures. The reason why I want to have this is that every single trunk show, I am looking for new people to join my team. And obviously my goal is to book at least 1 or 2 trunk shows at every trunk show. So I want to be able to host this coach right away and give this stuff to my hostess that I'm booking right away. Okay, Any questions about getting prepared for stuff before we get to the trunk show? Okay, good. So now we get to the trunk show, and there's two things I like to think of. So one is what you're doing when you're setting up, and then two is what you're doing when the trunk show actually begins. So when the trunk show, when I'm setting up, I'm still doing some extra hostess coaching. So what I always want to make sure is that, number one, that I hostess coach the important things about a successful trunk show. And I always tell my hostess, and I noticed, by the way, I forgot to do it today when I was setting up for my trunk show. I was talking to my hostess. It was crazy because I was a little late due to the beta breakers causing traffic. And I figured everybody else would be late too, but you kind of like get a little riled up, if you're not on schedule. So I was off my game. And when most people were there, I was sitting I was at the point where like everybody was sitting on the sofas, and everybody was just 5 people, but everybody was sitting on the sofas and nobody was at the table trying on the jewelry. And then I realized, oh darn, I totally forgot to talk to my hostess. So I always tell my hostess when I'm setting up, I go, hey, by the way, tell me who's coming. Tell me about the people who are coming. Who are they? What are they like? I kind of want to start profiling who are the different social groups that she has invited. And the reason is, let's say there's a huge representation from one particular social group. Obviously, I'm going to try to book with the people that I have the most chemistry with. But I'm also trying to book with people from different social groups, right? So this is kind of part of that profiling. I'm also asking my hostess, it's so funny. People often ask this, and it's part of the training that Stella and Dot sometimes tells us, like, why don't you ask the hostess which person coming is like super fashionista, who is the one that's coming who's like most likely to host, that kind of stuff. And so I've done this business for over 7 years, right? Almost 7.5. And I have asked that fairly often. I gotta tell you something. I don't think it works. And the reason is everyone prejudges. And everyone assumes this friend is interested or this friend is not interested, or oh, this person loves having parties. And it's always different. And what I have found is that the people that think that they say will host or should become a stylist are never the ones. And the ones that they don't say are always the ones. So it's kind of funny. Now I ask just so that I can do the reverse. Does that make any sense? Like I asked just to see, all right, I'm gonna play that game and see. It's gonna be this one and not this one, So I do ask my hostess those questions sometimes, but I do tell my hostess, I go, listen, there is one secret kind of sauce to making sure that you have an amazing trunk show, and I think a lot of people don't know this, and that is that if you get involved, try on jewelry, and when people compliment you, that you take it off yourself and you put it on the friend that complimented you and you grab something else. I said, because they're coming to your house and they've not been to a trunk show before and they don't know what to do. So this is your territory, they're taking your lead. If you sit back and you keep pushing the food on them and you keep pushing all the drinks on them, then that's what they're gonna focus on. If you sit down, they're gonna sit down. So if you want people to have fun and really get the fun of interacting with the jewelry, and if you want hostess rewards and you wanna get a lot of the stuff that you want for free, you're gonna wanna be like me and be at the table and try things on and get things on your friends, okay? And then they go, oh, okay. So I have to go in the kitchen and tell my hostess today all this. So I do that kind of hostess coaching. And then the other thing I always make sure I do is I plant the seed again or discuss again the idea of my hostess becoming a stylist. So when I book the trunk show, sometime during the time of booking the trunk show and the day of the trunk show, I've already talked about it with her on the phone. I've probably sent her an email saying, and I've also included in her hostess brochure, her hostess kit, her hostess planner. I've given her all of that, and I've given her information about becoming a stylist. So now I'm doing it again. I'm like, hey, by the way, did you give it any thought? You were so good at getting people here, or whatever seems authentic to that trunk show. I'm bringing it up again. And then if she's still not sure, she's like, I've been thinking about it, or whatever. I'm like, okay, I want you to do what, you just kind of go with the situation, but it's just like putting it out there again. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that like, she may not have even had time to think about it because she was working and then getting ready for this trunk show. But the other thing is like people really need multiple hits and multiple times for you to tell somebody you think that they would be good or that they should do this or that they love it or whatever it is, for them to start to think themselves that that might just be so. So this is what I'm doing when I'm setting up. The minute the first person gets there, like I am interested, I'm already done setting up. I'm keeping it really simple. The thing that you want to remember about display, whether you're doing your own trunk show at your house or you're doing a trunk show for somebody else, is you want to make everything that you do and everything that the hostess does look simple and duplicatable. So you don't want your hostess to be staying up the night before making 5 different kinds of homemade canapes, right? At the same time, you do not want your setup to look super elaborate. So when I first started and I didn't have trays and I didn't have all those neck forms and I didn't have everything looking super perfect Stella and Dot, you know, and the reason I didn't is I really wanted to put whatever money I had into the jewelry, into the product as samples. And as I earned back my money, then I would start to reinvest more into the business. So in the beginning, I was like, I can make the jewelry look cute without having like a proper stuff. So I would hang things on pictures and I would hang things from martini glasses, like earrings would hang from martini glasses and wine glasses. And I would get like those 3-tiered servers and put like the cuffs and bracelets on that, maybe rings on the top one, things like that, you know? You could take like a placemats and stuff. So whatever you do, it just has to look really simple and duplicatable so that other people who come to the trunk show aren't scared off from hosting. Oh my God, it looks like this girl took 2 hours to set up. You don't want them to think that. Or, oh my God, I could never host. Look at like all her homemade whatever and pate and she did, you know, steak tartare and blah, 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 blah. Like, who wants to host a trunk show after seeing that? It's intimidating. So I want everything to look really duplicatable. People walk in, ding dong, it's my job to go and greet the people too. My hostess will most likely be the one that's opening the door, but I want to go and say hi to everybody. I'm done setting up. I've got lookbooks in my hand, right? But I'm just kind of like going up and introducing myself and asking the person, you know, how do you know my hostess? And then other questions like, well, have you ever been to a Stella and Dot trunk show before? So I'm gauging with the person to get to know them. And right then and there, this is how I make life easier for me. As people come through, you know, it could be 12 people at the trunk show, and you want to make checkout as easy as possible for you. So I tell them right there as I'm meeting people individually, you know, we've got a lot of people coming here today, or you know what, I want to help you keep track of the things that you like. So I'm just going to get your information in the system here, and this is how I can keep track of your wish list or things that you love to build a style profile for you. So right then and there, I go into Dottie and I put in her information. After I put in her information, Dottie's going to ask you for her first name, her last name, her email address, and her phone number. Once you put all that in, it's going to bring you to the ordering page. So she may just be new and have not tried on anything yet, but I will always put in that 14-inch sterling silver delicate chain. It's like the first thing that's available when you can order, because that saves the order. So now under this trunk show, you can always go hit saved orders and pull all the people up. So if I see on an order that the first thing up there is 14-inch, I already remember, oh, it's the fake order I created. So when that person tells me other things she likes, I'll put those things in and I'll swipe that thing off and trash it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. This helps me get everybody's information in so that I am not backlogged at the end when we're doing checkout. And it's a really, look at, can you see him? How cute is he? My cat, he always has to be featured. His sister doesn't need to, but like Romeo is like, wait a minute, I gotta be in every Zoom and every Facebook Live. There he is.
I saw him on the last one too. I saw him on the last one. That's so funny.
He's so funny. Okay, I'm so sorry, I digress. Anyway, you load the stuff, and as you're getting to know people, remember, you are profiling to try to figure out which social groups that person's from. Okay, so now, typically a trunk show goes about 2 hours. I know we've said 90 minutes. Those are definitely on the shorter side. I have found that most trunk shows are on average 2 hours, and I will sometimes stay later. You control the trunk show. So let me just say this very carefully. If you have to be out of there after 2 hours, right? Trunk show's done in 2 hours, you gotta pack up, you got places to be, kids to pick up, you know, an appointment to go to, you set the tone. and you need to tell the guests. And the best time to tell the guests is at the group hello, okay? Because then you can set the tone and let people know I'm going to be here until this time, and then I've got to pack up. And then you can stick to it. For me, I actually tend to stay most of the time if I can, if they need me to. The reason is, one, I like people and I like, getting to know them, and I like building relationships with people. And it turns out that something I like so much has become the best thing for our business. We are a relationship-based business. That is, there's no bones about it. People book trunk shows with you because they like you. That's it. This is a fun way to get together with their girlfriends, but they've got many other ways they can get together with their girlfriends. They book a trunk show with you because they like you. So there's no way to like you if you're not spending time with them and building relationships. So I stay, typically, 2.5, sometimes even 3 hours. But I'm usually making a lot of money also. I'm there for 3 hours. It's like $1,500 trunk show or more. Okay, so I was going to say that the best way for you to sort of control everything is the group hello. So if you've done the training through Stella and Dot, the new stylist training, you'll know that the group hello is pretty important. And you'll also know that the group hello means that you actually have to address everybody at the trunk show. And I don't know about you. Are you scared to talk in public? Kendall, you don't get to answer because you've done this before. But Desiree, are you scared to talk in public?
Not really, no.
Not really?
No.
Well, better meet you. You're better than me. So I was totally nervous. So I love that we don't have to make a presentation, but it's important to let people know how this works, know a little bit about the company, and it's definitely important for people to know about the versatility, sort of our Transformers for Girls stuff. He is killing me. He's so funny. Look at that. Oh my God. You're distracting me, Romeo. Go away. So I think the group hello is extremely important. Hold on, guys. Okay. So in terms of the group hello, you want to do the group hello when there's critical mass there. The training says about 30 minutes in, and I always think a lot of times it's like 45 minutes in or so. I just want when majority of the people are there. People have gotten drinks, they're relaxing, they're chit-chatting. That's when I want everybody's attention. I always ask my hostess to get their attention first. Turn down the music, whatever it is. And my hostess today didn't even have music, so I had to tell her to get music on. I'm like, oh, we got alcohol, we need to have music. Like, nothing like a trunk show where it's like totally quiet and it's just people's conversation. I don't like that. So if my hostess doesn't know what to do, I want to set that by. Let's have fun. There are a couple of things. The thing is about the group hello, don't fret. No one is looking for perfection. No one's looking for you to make this like PowerPoint presentation. People want to know how much does it cost to ship? How quickly will it come? What kind of credit cards do you take? They want to know that. And they want to hear a little bit about you. So tell them about you and tell them about like why you started doing Stella and Dot or what you love about it. And then tell them about your favorite pieces or tell them about the styles of the season, whatever resonates with you. If you go through the stuff about our collections, you'll learn about trends of the season. You'll learn about the inspiration behind the design. You can tell that if that's the stuff that gets you excited. You can tell the personal stories about how, the Chantilly lace cuff and the Alila collection are actually inspired by Dot's grandfather's lace collection, lace factory, and, pieces of heirloom lace for that. Whatever you want. Like, tell the stuff that it's exciting to you because whatever you love and that you're passionate about, that's what's going to get everybody else excited too. So when I'm doing a group hello, I usually thank my hostess for having me there. I tell everybody about how I met my hostess. It's usually at the previous trunk show. And this is a way for me to show everybody, okay, wait, you could do a trunk show too, right? Hey, I met, so today it would have been like, I met Courtney when I did a trunk show for so-and-so. Courtney loved it so much, and apparently she's like the girl that always is planning get-togethers with you girls, and everybody's like going, yeah, and I'm like, okay, so it was a no-brainer. Courtney wanted another fun way to get together with her girlfriends, and so here we are. And then somewhere separately down the line, I'm going to then talk about the hostess rewards, so I'm not making it look like Courtney is doing this to get the free jewelry, but I'll plop it later. So I say to people, tell me who here has been to a Stella and Dot trunk show, and then those people who will raise their hands. And then there's usually so many more people who have not been to a Stella and Dot trunk show, and actually a ton of people who have never heard of it. And I love that. I always say something like, oh my God, I love it. You're a Stella and Dot virgin. That always gets a few laughs. And then, I'll tell them, okay, so for those of you who haven't heard about Stella and Dot, those of you who have, just bear with me a bit, let me just share some information. And I tell them, how long I've been in it, why I got started, what I love about it, the design, how we used to just be jewelry and now we're into all these other things. And that's when I start telling them the thing that really I was attracted to in the beginning has now become a hallmark, and foundation of our design, which is versatility, which is giving people more bang for their buck. So I always demonstrate the Zoe. I always demonstrate the Sutton. If I don't have the Sutton, but I have the Freya fringe, I'll do that. Or if I have the Freya fringe and I don't have the Sutton, I'll do the Freya fringe. And then for people who don't like statement necklaces, and I always say, if you love this kind of versatility and Transformers for girls, but you don't love statement necklaces like this big chunky stuff right up here, I'll show them the Riyadh necklace, which the silver version would be like the Tiburon necklace, because it's 3 separate strands and they're all removable. So you can wear one or pair it with the second or whatever they want to do with it. And then I'll say, if you really, really love delicates and you want this kind of versatility, you want to definitely look at the Pavé chevron. And now I point to the Pavé chevron, but then I don't demonstrate it. Let me make one thing really, really clear here, because I think this is so important. I have found, and it's been like this forever, when you touch people, this is so funny, when you touch people, the more you touch them, like, I don't know, it's like this intimacy, but the more you touch them, the more they like you or something. It's like, it's this comfort and bonding thing. And so I find that the people that I put the jewelry on during the group hello, and I make them sort of a model, those are the people that end up either buying that piece from me or booking a trunk show with me. And they're booking a trunk show with me to get that super expensive piece for free. So it's really, really important when you're doing your group hello that you just pull people up. And I used to always ask people for permission. I don't even do that anymore. I'm just like, okay, we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna get a few models. I know you didn't think it was your lucky, you didn't know it was gonna be your day to walk the catwalk, right? Okay, you, over there, love your top, come on up. I am fearless, I just make it fun. It's not, it's not formal. It's just like, let's have a good time here. Come on up here, and then I'll tell her, okay, work it, own it, turn around, spin it, shake your booty, whatever. Just make it fun and help them relax. But if you get somebody to wear something, it's gonna show that piece so much more than if you're just laying it on the table. And then when you're showing, okay, this unclips and then it becomes like this. Okay, when you take off this extender, now it's become a long necklace. They're just like, people are literally going, oh, oh, and there's like oohs and ahs and gasps. It's awesome. It just feeds you. So you do, look, here we go. Okay, 10 more minutes I have. So you do really want to make sure that you get people to model in your group hello and that you do showcase some things. You can always showcase like an arm party if you don't have those statement pieces. You can show them some of your favorite summer looks, the bohemian things. You can talk about fringe and tassels right now being in, whatever floats your boat, right? And I also do the same thing. There's always 2 bags that I want to show everybody. I have the Petite Waverly, so I show them how with one bag you do everything, from a clutch to a crossbody to a messenger bag that then holds an iPad, right? And then I show them the getaway bag, because I think every woman should have a getaway bag. It's like amazing. And I'm like, okay, I'm walking through, look, look, look. This is me going to the beach. This is me going where? This is me going, to the games with my kids. This is me going on an airplane and I'm shoving the getaway under the seat. And then I show them how, whoops, I bought a little too much and now I can't have an extra suitcase. What am I going to do? And I unzip it. And now we can check that thing in through security. And all those 3 extra or 4 extra pairs of shoes that I bought, no problem. I didn't have to buy an extra bag. So boom, I'll demonstrate that. And then I will say to everybody, remember I took all your information earlier, so this is how we're going to make it super easy on you. See, all of this, like I've got good news and I've got not such good news. And the good news is you're going to get this so quickly, and there's a super cute, adorable gift box that everything comes in. and it's going to come to you within 4 to 7 business days. And then the not so good news is that obviously this is all mine. It's my jewelry box. You can't have it. You can't take it because I need it. Or something to that tune, but I'll say, so the other really good news is then you don't have to actually walk around with this stuff and like carry it with you, right? If you want something, you don't have to feel like, oh my God, I'm holding on to it, God forbid. What if somebody else snags it? No. It's okay. It's all good. And then, and I'll share with them. I'm just gonna ignore that. Romeo, you're so in trouble. Anyway, so I will tell them that. Oh my God, you totally screwed my train of thought. But
You can't take it with you.
Hello.
This is my jewelry
Shipping.
box.
I can't hear you, Kendall. You're talking, but you're like totally muted. This whole time you've been saying stuff, and I'm like, I can see your mouth going, wah, wah, wah. So the bottom line is I just want them to know that they're going to get their stuff really quickly, that I'm going to get their information. So right away I say, as soon as you like something, you love it, just hold it up. And then I still go up to each individual person, and I check in with them. I'm styling them. We're trying on jewelry. I'm getting to know things like, do you like silver? Do you like gold? Tell me about your everyday life. What's your everyday style? What do you love to do? You know, what's your office attire like if you work outside the home? Things like that to kind of break the ice on the styling. Because typically I like to talk to people about life and stuff and just get to know them as people. That's how I understand how Stella and Dot's going to fit into their life. But when it comes to actual styling, I do have to ask those types of questions, right? So we're doing all that. But I also always end my group hello with, you know, so there's just reminding you how you're going to be able to get it. We can order it today for you. If you've got a really big list of things that you like, then what we're going to do is we're going to get what you can't live without today, because that's the stuff you're going to be walking around wearing all the time. Your friends are going to love it. And the other stuff that you love that we can't get for you today, we're going to get for you for free when I come and do a trunk show for you. So that's how I talk about that without necessarily referencing my hostess. But people can make that connection if they want to. But now they're going, wait, what? Free, huh? What? Right? But it's not in their face. It's just planting a little seed, and then now I can have interaction one-on-one to talk to somebody about booking a trunk show right then and there at that trunk show. So I wrap up the group hello, and then I'm like, sometimes I'll even say, and usually I will say, you know, and if you can't make a decision, you're like, oh my God, I love it all, you should think about becoming a stylist, because that's one of the things that helped me. Right? Plant the little seed, walk away, no big deal. So I've done all that, done the group hello. You've got to do individual styling and really engage with people. And then you're going to do your checkout. And the only thing I'm going to say about that right now is, as you are doing your checkout, never assume somebody is ready to check out. Like, never assume somebody is done. And don't you be the one to ask person, okay, are we done? You ready to check out? Is this it? You never assume it's it until they tell you, and you don't want to bring it up. You know? What else can I do for you? How else can I help you? How about some gifts? You know? What about the trunk show exclusives? And you can help people even finish the look, right? They get a necklace. Okay, do you have earrings to go with that? They get statement earrings. Okay, do you have an arm party to go with that, or a cuff? But there's always ways to continue that conversation and help somebody really completely style their look. I can't stand it. I cannot stand going out and buying a new dress and then coming home and finding out I don't have the right shoes and purse to go with it. So I try to help that when I'm there with people. I'm like, if you get this, let me help you finish the look, because I don't want you going home going, darn it, I bought this necklace, it turns out I don't have any earrings to go with it. You know? So that's it. Then you're going to go into checkout. There's a whole slew of things I can do about checkout. So I'm just going to leave it at this, and with 4 minutes, see if I can answer any questions.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Dang it.
You must have muted yourself by accident.
No.
There's a mute button on my.
I tried that.
She's still saying. I really think you muted yourself by accident. No? Okay. There it is. Oh, no, you didn't mute yourself by accident. You're right. I have no idea what that is.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to turn the lights off.
Desiree,
Yes.
you're brand new. When's your first trunk show?
Okay, so I chose.
Okay, you're mute too.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Desiree. Can you hear me?
That's so weird. I promise you guys I didn't do anything.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me?
No, can't hear you.
I can hear her.
I know you can hear. Oh, you can hear her?
Yes.
And I can hear her too.
Oh my God, I turned off the computer. Never mind. That was me.
I was like, I can hear her. Yeah.
It was my fault. Sorry.
Go ahead, Desiree. You can go finish your thought.
Okay, so my first show is May 26th, which is a Thursday. But I feel a little discouraged because I've reached out to many, many different groups of people and just people I don't even know, just groups I'm a part of, like on Facebook, Moms in My Community, and no one has RSVP'd to my party yet.
Okay. Well, let me ask you something. Do you think, so how many people do you think that's been that you invited?
Probably about 100.
Okay. So Desiree, I understand how you're feeling truly, and we've all been in that same place before. So don't think that you're alone in this. Just about every single one of us has had this happen to us personally as well as to our hostesses, okay? The good news is there's a solution. And that is that because this is a relationship-based business, it is going to require one-on-one outreach.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows to come and support you. Let me just say right now that this is going to boot us off in a minute. When that happens, I don't want you to be left in the lurch. So let's just take this conversation onto that event page that I created for our team on Facebook, where I did the invitation. Let's just chat that way, okay? But you're going to have to pick up the phone and call people.
Okay.
Truly, you're going to have to one-on-one say to somebody, hey, I hope you got that invitation. It would mean so much to me if you could come and support me, even if you don't think you love accessories, just to come and clink a glass of champagne and toast to my success, just to be there in spirit. Let people know.
Okay.
Okay? And really talk to them one-on-one. So call them. Don't rely on email. Don't rely on text unless they're super, super good friends of yours.
Okay.
With everybody else, it's got to be a friendly smile, a hi, and tell them what you want.
Okay. I live in a pretty new community, so we have all these new neighbors. So I was just going to go knocking on their doors and give them like one of the lookbooks I got as well with some information on that.
Okay. So what are you going to say to them? Now, if you're going to do that, which is fantastic, best thing I could ever say is do that. Make sure you've got your sort of like 30-second elevator pitch ready.
Yeah, that's what I don't know yet exactly what to say, but I definitely have, I got the starter kits. I have the lookbooks. So I was going to hand those out. I put my stickers on there already. And I'm just not exactly sure what to say yet, but I'll figure that out.
We can work on that totally. But I mean, one quick thing is just, I am so excited to be in this community. I love it. And I love meeting new people. And I'm so thrilled that I have this way to share fun with you guys. I'd love for you to come over, get to know you a bit more. And actually, like, we're going to have easy access and entertainment. I represent a company called Stella Nut. It's super fabulous.